I wonder if you have come across these temples or mandapas while traveling in Tamil Nadu. In the past, I have discussed Mahendravarman's contribution to literature, in particular his play Mattavilas Prahasan. In this video, I will discuss another aspect of Mahendravarman. While Simhavishnu planted the seeds of the Pallava dynasty, it was his son, Mahendravarman, who truly blossomed their art and architecture. He inherited a vast empire stretching from the North Pennar, north of Kanchi, to the Kaveri in the south. But his reign wasn't all smooth sailing. Powerful neighbors like the Chalukyas and Pandyas kept him on his toes. Instead of just focusing on battles, Mahendravarman turned his attention inwards. He channeled his energy into something extraordinary: the creation of art, literature, stunning temples, and sculptures, forever shaping the artistic identity of the Pallavas. Forget the usual brick temples everyone else was building. King Mahendravarman had bigger dreams, wilder dreams. He wasn't just the first in South India to carve into rock, he was a rock carving pioneer. Not just any rock, mind you. While others played it safe with soft sandstone, Mahendravarman went granite and gneiss, the toughest rocks around. Talk about ambitious. And here's the crazy part: his workers under his leadership mastered carving these behemoths in record time. No wonder he called himself Vichitrachitta, the curious one, in his inscription at the Mandagapattu cave temple. He practically burst with pride, describing his Lakshitayana temple dedicated to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. No wood, no metal, not even plaster. Just pure hard rock carved into a magnificent shrine. That's some serious innovation right there. But what made this Lakshitayana truly special? It wasn't just the lack of traditional materials. It was carved from granite and gneiss. Rocks so tough that even his rivals, the Chalukyas, shied away from them. They stuck to the easy route, soft, manageable rock. But Mahendravarman wasn't about easy. He pushed the boundaries, defying expectations and creating something truly unique and awe inspiring. He carved his name in history not just with words but with the very rock itself. Mahendravarman's rock carving revolution didn't end with him. He sparked a trend, a rocking new way of building these future dynasties couldn't resist. The Pandyas, Muttariyars, and even the mighty Cholas who built the jaw-dropping Brihadeshwara temples, they all followed Mahendravarman's lead, carving their legacies into granite and gneiss. This hard rock tradition stuck around for centuries, even inspiring the later Pandyas, the Vijayanagara rulers, the Nayakas, and even modern South Indian builders who got even better at this tough rock game. So Mahendravarman's architecture wasn't just groundbreaking, it was trend setting. Not only did he choose harder materials, but his techniques for working with them were totally different from what anyone else was doing. No one himself Lakshita, the distinguished one, and Vichitrachitta, the curious minded. His vision and innovation set him apart. Imagine carving a temple out of soft cheese. Easy, right? Now imagine doing the same with granite, a rock harder than your average hammer. That's the challenge Mahendravarman threw at his workers. Forget the quick and easy sandstone everyone else used. He was going all in with rock solid granite and gneiss. But here's the catch: these rocks weren't exactly pick and chisel friendly. It took patience, skill, and a whole lot of elbow grease to tame them. Because these were new materials with unknown strengths and weaknesses. The early Pallava cave temples had limitations. Think short, chunky beams, thick pillars with barely any spaces between them. Not exactly spacious or ornate. Even the decorations were mostly large, flat reliefs, carefully placed to avoid overloading the rock. It wasn't about intricate details, but making the most of the material. So Mahendravarman's rock temple started simple: small caves, basic designs, few sculptures, and massive pillars. While later kings added their own touches, they respected his rock solid formation. It wasn't just a style, it was a testament to their skill and ingenuity in working with a challenging material. Forget the sprawling multi-chambered temples of later eras. King Mahendravarman kept it simple when he pioneered rock cut temples. Imagine carving your entire temple out of a single chunk of rock. That's the challenge he embraced. No prefabricated walls, no fancy brickwork, just pure rock transformed into sacred space. His early cave temples were like modular homes, each consisting of a large open hall called a mandapa. Think of it as a community space carved into the rock face. But don't expect intricate details or ornate decorations. Remember, they were carving rock, not butter. Each mandapa had a row of thick, sturdy pillars, sometimes with even thicker plasters at the end, dividing the space into two sections. Like an apartment complex, the outer section served as a common area while the inner one offered a more intimate space. And just like apartments have individual units, the shrines, usually one but sometimes more, were carved into the walls, each corresponding to a gap between the pillars. Location mattered too. Most of these cave temples faced east or west, basking in the morning or the evening sun. But Mahendravarman wasn't afraid to experiment. One faced south, offering a unique perspective, while two others had their shrines cleverly placed based on their individual locations. One even had two floors, proving innovation was alive and kicking even back then. These early caves weren't about aesthetics, they were functional. Their facades basic with steps leading to a platform supported by thick pillars and beams. The roof? Just a rough ledge carved out of the rock itself. No fancy cornices or intricate details. Think efficiency over embellishments. The only exception was the later Dalvanur cave, which showcased some fancy flourishes like molded cornices and even lotus petal decorations. Even the pillars were no frills, mostly square or octagonal with minimal shaping. Some even had a flat plank on top, a nod to the capitals used in regular temples. They were, these weren't grand masterpieces, but they were groundbreaking. They were the beta versions of the later majestic temples, proving that incredible things could be built even with limited space and challenging materials. Mahendravarman's cave temples weren't just structures, they were testaments to his vision and skill. They set the stage for centuries of rock cut wonders, showing the world that even seemingly unyielding rock could be transformed into stunning expressions of faith. They were the simple yet innovative beginnings of a legacy carved in stone, a reminder that sometimes the greatest innovations come from embracing the toughest challenges.